Hey YouTube, Texas Gear Reviews here. So we're finally getting around to doing a proper review on this stove we picked up right before Christmas. It is the Bushcraft Essentials Outdoor Pocket Micro EDC stove. I know, that's a long name, right? We have a couple of specs on it, not too much. There wasn't a whole bunch to look up on it. Price on this is right around the $30 to $35 price range, so it's not really budget friendly, and we'll go over what we think about it in just a minute. First, we'll just go over a couple of specs. It's 2.6 inches by 1.85 inches, by 2 inches, and weighs 77 grams. It's not super light for how small it is. Like I said, it's made out of stainless, so it has some weight to it. It's actually a wood burning stove, but from what I understand, you can use tea light candles in it and use it kind of like a tea light candle lantern. Probably isn't going to work as well as, say, a UCO, but it would work. Also, you can use fuel tabs in it like Esbit. And from what I understand, if you use two full-size Esbit fuel tabs in there, you can get a pretty good rolling boil on a decent-sized cup. Now, I bought this for the GSI Glacier, and it's just a little bit too big for it. I've got a lighter and a nickel in here just so you can see how big it is. But this cup just doesn't fit it very well. It's got a bevel on the bottom of it, and the bevel sits directly on the pot holder, so it kind of wants to slide to one side or the other every which way. So if you plan on using the GSI Glacier for it, I would go with a different stove. We did do a water boil test in this over on Rando Survivor, and found that we used a small tin. If anybody knows what tomato paste comes in, that's what size tin we used. It was quite small. Actually fit the stove perfectly though, and we boiled a tin of water in about 6 minutes. This is one of those items that's going to be borderline between novelty and actual survival stove. I don't think that, you're going to cook a full meal on this. Of course not. But if you just needed to boil a quick cup of water or heat up, water for a drink or something like that, I think it would work. I think you'd be better off going with a different stove if you're looking for something for a survival kit. I don't think this is the best one on the market for the price, especially the price. In fact, I think you can get one of the larger ones for just a couple dollars more. Not sure what exact model it is, but I looked at one and I want to say it was like 35 bucks, 37 bucks, something like that, and it looked quite a bit bigger. So it's one of those deals where if you really need a micro stove, pocket stove, this would be good. But like I said, I wish it was just a little bit cheaper. Another thing about it is it comes with holes. You can see there on every single piece. You can see it's got another one on this back leg. It's got one here, one here. That's so you can line all those holes up and run a carabiner through it and just clip it on the back of your pack. When this thing breaks down, though, it actually fits inside of this small nylon envelope they give you. Everything fits in there quite nicely. So it's really flat. It is a small stove. Like literally, you could probably put this in your wallet and it would be a little bit bulky, but it would fit. Definitely you could slide it in and out of your pocket with ease and not even really tell it's there. So it's not, I don't want to call it a novelty because I know that's going to piss a lot of people off. And I really don't think it's just, all novelty. I just think it's one of those items that's right there where you can almost call it a novelty, you know what I mean? But like I said, if you need a small stove, this one's decent. Only problem I found with it was feeding. With a pot on top of it, it was kind of hard to feed the sticks in. Don't like to go through the hole in here. That sounded awful. It don't like to go through the feeding door. How I fed it, I just dropped them in beside the can, and it kind of kept the flames up on the can as well. So I think that helped with boiling a little bit. But I did find myself having to give it more air, like it was starving for air for some reason. I think if they made these emblems bigger, it would probably get better air. Also, I think I made the mistake of covering these holes down here with sticks. I just laid a flat kind of a little table down in there so I can drop my curls down in there and they wouldn't fall through the holes. So I think that was another problem I had. I'm just going to have to set this thing up and actually not lay anything on the floor and see if it gets better air, because it did not get good circulation on it. And that did affect the burn, fairly well anyways. If you watch the video over there, you can see that I'm having to blow into it to keep the fire going. So it's one of those things where it's very labor intensive when you have to use this stove. Alright, so let's test this little bugger out and see what it'll do. Since we're not going to be doing a boil test today or anything like that, we're not going to be burning anything, I went ahead and took the little pot stand off of it. We are going to do some more testing with this thing. I'm going to use it a few times at least before I do a full review on it. All I've got in here, I do have some fat wood shavings. But I'm burning cedar in this thing, and it is ultra dry. I want to give it the best chance possible first time I use it. So hopefully that'll get going here. I should have turned the exhaust fan on, and I didn't. Turn it on if it gets too bad in here. This is what I'm burning in here. This was just big chunks of cedar, leftover scraps from woodwork me and my dad used to do. I've still been working with it lately, but I just save the little chunks that come off of it, the knots and what have you. And if I can't make like a ferro rod handle out of it or something, I just go ahead and break it down and burn it. It was sticks like this, and I just took it and split it down to smaller pieces, and then you can see where I just broke it. I could see loading problems, loading issues with this. Like trying to keep everything below the box line so you could have your cup on there would kind of be a pain in the butt, but it's getting a nice flame on it, like it would wrap around the GSI Glacier cup, and that's what we're going to use next. We're going to test it with, because that's what this stove was bought for. It was bought for that kit. I can't wait to test out the round one, the little round bio stove. I think it's going to be cool. Just lately I've been playing with the bio light so much that I haven't had time to test any other stoves. Anytime I use one, it's been the bio light, so surprisingly I haven't done any videos on it yet, so we'll be doing those next. Also, I'm concerned about this one just burning up and getting all nasty. Putting it back in a pack. It does come with a little Velcro enclosure, little envelope for it, so I don't know, maybe we can clean it up, put it back in there, and it won't get soot all over everything. Let's see how it loads through the door. I mean, that's how you're going to be loading it, right? Not very well. I could see me burning myself on this. And I believe it's going out. I think that's going to be the biggest issue, is loading it. If it had a cup on top of it, it'd be harder to load. I've been top loading, just dropping it in there. I still think it's a cool concept, though. I tell you what, I would like to get one of the bigger ones and try it out. Play with it for a little while. But even this little one right here is like $30. It ain't cheap. These things aren't cheap, so You know, I like budget gear. I like gear that you can get for under $10 for something like that, you know. To pay 3 times that, it better be worth it. And I'm thinking this one might be, after you work with it for a little while. There we go. I think you would just have to be on top of this one for it to work correctly. Have to stay on top of it to actually get boiling water. I think it'd be nice for tea, something like that, heating up some coffee. Don't know how good it would be for actually trying to boil water to, you know, to purify it. You can see it's already starting to blacken. It's been washed too. So you're not going to get that stuff out of there. I don't know. We'll definitely do an update, and we'll probably come over here and do a test as well eventually, so be looking out for those videos. It's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching, YouTube.